Rupert. I have a question that it's a little bit related to the energy question, but quite different. There may be YouTube videos about this, but I haven't watched so many. So I'm familiar with my true nature, and I felt very triggered last night by an event that a very familiar pattern to me. I felt being treated unfairly, victimized, sad about it, like all worked up. And I tried to follow your suggestion to a fellow participant the other day with her shyness, and I just inquired into, so who's being violated, who's having these, on whose behalf are these emotions? And obviously I didn't find that person. And I had probably the subtle expectation that, poof, now I wouldn't be triggered anymore and I would be resting in my true nature, which wasn't the case, because round after round after round, including now, the feelings come up again.
Okay, but yeah. you didn't go, sorry to interrupt you, you didn't go far enough.
Yeah.
You just said, I didn't find that person.
Yeah.
That's a good first step, but what did you find? That's what you have to know. When you look for the separate self on whose behalf your hurt feelings rise, you can't find the separate self. That's the first step. What do you find?
I did find my true nature.
Tell us about it.
Then and now, when I'm in touch with it, it feels open, spacious, timeless. Feels good, feels spacious, feels aware.
Okay, so how could this, what you've just described, open, empty, spacious, timeless, good, at peace, how could that feeling coexist with your feeling of being undermined and hurt and upset? You can't have those two feelings simultaneously. So if you truly asked yourself on whose behalf do these feelings arise, you can't find the separate self, but you go on until you do find what you call myself, and you find that it is open, spacious, peaceful, then what happens? You've got these two feelings, open, empty, and spacious and peaceful, or hurt and upset. You can't have both at the same time.
No, I know. It's just, what surprises me is that even though I've been there, I need to do this like over and over.
If you need to do it over and over again, do it over and over again. Because each time you do it, you so to speak, visit yourself. You return from the adventure of experience to yourself. And then after you rest there for a while, you taste the openness, the peace that you describe. But then through force of habit, the next wave of feeling pulls you out of yourself again. Well, then you have to go back. You have to trace your way back. You have to take the journey back again. And then again, you taste this openness, this peace, and again, through force of habit, the next wave of feeling takes you away again. You have to trace your way back. But each time you trace your way back, it should take you a little bit less time, because you don't need to go through all the steps. You've been there before. You know your way home. You go there. It takes less and less time. And each time you go there and you stay there, you find that your experience, your feelings in this case, they lose their capacity to take you away. They may still take you away, but the feeling has to be stronger and stronger each time to still have the power to take you away. Until after some time of doing this, as you say, over and over again, you no longer feel that yourself is something you visit from time to time, but it's where you live. It's yourself. It's who you are. You begin to feel, I am now established in this openness, as this peace. Okay, from time to time, something may trigger you. You may briefly be taken away from yourself. You may briefly lose yourself in the feeling, but it doesn't last long. So accustomed have you become to being knowingly this inherently open, peaceful presence of awareness.
And one follow-up question that I have to that is that then the idea, maybe New Agey, I don't know, came to my mind that there is this energy though that was associated with being triggered. Is there any legitimacy to the belief that now this energy kind of needs to dissipate and I should maybe therefore feel that feeling fully? Or would you say, forget about all of that, just always come back?
No, I wouldn't say forget about all of that. There's truth in what you say. Once you have traced your way back in this way, and you are being knowingly this open, inherently peaceful presence of awareness, as you say, these residual energies may still come up, but they now no longer have the capacity to veil yourself or take you away from yourself. Nevertheless, they still arise within you. So now you know yourself as this openness in which this ripple of tension or contraction is appearing. And you could explore it in the same way that we did towards the end of the meditation this morning, when you, first of all, you establish in your experience, I am the open, empty space of awareness, and you feel this knot of this tight, contracted sensation, and you explore it. You could actually use the meditation we did this morning, although there are many similar, where you go deeply into it, and every question has this sensation got a size, a shape, and the purpose of the questions is not to answer them. The purpose of the question is to take you deeply into the experience itself, and so that you see at the end all that is there in this apparently knotted contraction. All that is there is this luminous, open, empty knowing. So that this is the tantric approach rather than the Vedantic approach. The Vedantic approach is when we extricate ourselves from our experience and view it as from a distance, so to speak. That establishes the presence and the primacy and the nature of awareness. But once we have done that, we then take the tantric approach. We then allow this feeling to come up, and we go deeply into it. We explore it. And in this exploration, it is gradually, in most cases, divested of its objective qualities, including its unpleasantness. So all that is left is this neutral vibration. The feeling that you once felt was unbearable tension or unbearable hurt is now just a neutral vibration made only of the knowing of it. You have neutralized the hurt in this loving but disinterested contemplation.
And do you think for a newbie like me, is the expectation that by doing that once that it would dissipate? Is that maybe a trap of the mind too, or am I just not doing it right?
Yes, it's not really a trap, but if you are doing this contemplation with a view to getting rid of the feeling, it means that you are not yet standing as the open, empty, inherently peaceful presence of awareness. Because the presence of awareness has no agenda with your experience. So if you have an agenda with your experience, I want to do this meditation in order to get rid of my feelings, then you are not yet standing as the presence of awareness. So notice that you have the agenda, and as a result of noticing it, establish yourself first as this open, empty presence of awareness. And only when you're sure you're standing as that, then can you contemplate the feeling. You're contemplating the feeling. This is what I mean when I say you contemplate it with loving but disinterested attention. By disinterested, I mean you have no vested interest in the outcome of your contemplation. You're not doing it for any other reason than to see the truth of the situation. You're not doing it to get rid of the feeling, to improve the feeling. You just want to see the reality of the situation. All you're interested in is truth, irrespective of the consequences or the repercussions in your experience. So it's loving in the sense that you're not moving away from the experience. You're totally open to the experience, but it's disinterested in the sense that you're not doing it for a reason. You have no vested interest in the outcome. You are already standing as the outcome. You are already standing as awareness. There is nothing more, there is nowhere else, nothing else to achieve. You are standing as the goal. You are starting with the goal.
That's very helpful. So I need to go back to step 1. I like that. That's very helpful. Thank you.
By the way, there are no newbies or beginners or old-timers in this approach. We're all of us, myself included, we're all on the same level. There's no such thing as, in this approach, mature students and newbies and all that stuff.
Thank you.
If there's a distinction to be made, just to make another comment, if there's a distinction to be made in this respect between people, it's not that people are maturer or have more understanding. It is the depth of the love of truth that we have. That's the only difference, the depths of our love of truth. You might have first heard about non-duality a week ago and have this passionate love and interest in truth or reality or God, or however you conceive of it. And somebody could have been studying these matters for 30 years, know all the techniques, all the teachers, all the traditions and everything else, but still they may still not yet have this deep love of truth. So the first person would be more mature than the second person. It's only our love of truth that makes a difference.